Hello, what's on your movie madman, and I'm back. So, exciting for you, you get 3 videos this week, but you guys are happy, aren't you? Today I'm going to talk to you about Rebel Moon. So, Rebel Moon is Zack Snyders' new thing that he's doing at the moment. I hear he's doing more, so there's something to get excited about. So they started off, Rebel Moon started off as a Star Wars project. I think he was meant to be doing something for the Star Wars universe, and then when Solo did really badly at the box office, Disney decided to cancel loads of upcoming Star Wars projects, and his was one of them, even though now they seem to just be doing loads of Star Wars projects again, and it's all on Disney Plus. Although I hear there's a new film coming out as well, so that's exciting, isn't it? Yeah. So last year Zack Snyder released the edited versions of Rebel Moon and Rebel Moon 2 onto Netflix. I don't remember what they're called. Rebel Moon 1 and 2. The first Rebel Moon was a 15, the second one was a 12. And you know, they were okay. I saw the first one. The first one I actually quite liked. I did see that it was pretty tame, but you know, I wasn't too upset about that. It was originally supposed to be a Star Wars thing, so they seem to be pretty tame anyway. The second one, I don't really understand what was going on for the first hour and a half of the second one. Nothing like watching someone doing the gardening for an hour and a half, and then the last like 45 minutes is just absolutely mental. So there is a few positives with the second one. And then this month, beginning of August, if this is out in August, I hope, at the beginning of August, Zack Snyder then released his director's cuts. As he does like to release a director's cut. If you're there, his preferred versions as well. They're both R-rated in America, and they're both 18s over here. And I watched the first one, and I absolutely loved it. I thought the first one was absolutely incredible. One of the best films I've seen this year, I thought. I watched it. It's like 3.5 hours long or something like that, and if I had had the time, if it had not been 2 o'clock in the morning, I probably would have just watched it again. And then a few days later I watched the second one, and the second one, the 18 version of the second one, is still better than the 12 rated version of the second one, but it does take a lot of the boring stuff in the first half of the film and make it longer. I don't know why you have to watch people harvesting and doing the gardening for an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes, as it might have been in the second one. But then of course that big battle that is at the end of the second one in the original is bigger in the 18 version, so there's something to get excited about. Both films in general have had a lot of bad press. Not a lot of people really enjoyed them. People said that the uncut versions just made the boring bits longer, which to be fair is true to some extent. I didn't find the first one boring at all. I really enjoyed the first one. Went straight into my top 69, which is very exciting for me. It's very rare that I watch a film and it goes straight into my top 69. There's another film actually that I'll mention at the end there. We'll talk about that at the end. I really, like I said, probably more than once already, I really enjoyed the first Rebel Moon. The second Rebel Moon is good. It's okay. If you skip the first hour, the story doesn't do anything. I think that was what bugged me about the second one. The second one starts, right, and then for like about an hour and a half, the story doesn't move from where it was at the beginning, except for a little bit of progression with the bad guy. The story just stays the same on this long, boring line for like an hour and a half. And you're just like, I don't care, can you just get on with what I'm here to see? I feel like you could probably put both films together and cut out about 2 hours and just make it one 3-hour movie, and it would have been a lot better. But I still enjoyed the second one. There were still a lot of moments in the second one that are a lot better than the 12 versions. I mean, why would you watch a 12 version of a film if there's an 18 version of a film? Unless of course you're 12 years old and you're not allowed to watch 18s, that's a bit different. But yeah, all in all, as a whole franchise in itself, it is brought down a bit by the second one, but the first one was so high up for me. I'm very surprised I've only watched it once since it's been out. So yeah, it's basically Seven Samurai in space. If you've seen Seven Samurai, or The Magnificent Seven, or The Three Amigos, or A Bug's Life, they all follow the same kind of story, and Rebel Moon just takes that story, sets it in space, and gives it to adults. It's probably one of the first times you've seen an extremely adult version of the storyline like that. There's loads of really pointless sex in it. I say loads. There's a couple of scenes in the first one and a couple of scenes in the second one I feel like you could have done without that. I mean, I know how to have sex. I don't have to see it in a film, especially when it wasn't anything to do with the plot, it wasn't anything to do with the characters. It was just like, oh, let's just watch people bang for a couple of minutes. You're just like, oh, great, thanks for that. Wasn't really needed at all, I didn't think. Just because he wanted to make it a bit more adult. I love Zack Snyder on the whole. I think he's a really good director. He's got amazing visions. Like, he's got an amazing vision. Like, his pictures look absolutely brilliant. His 4Ks are some of the best 4Ks that I own, and Rebel Moon is exactly the same. The 4K in Rebel Moon is absolutely amazing. So there is that. If you like really good 4K and space and action, then Rebel Moon does have that, especially in the 18 versions. Definitely has a lot more of that in the 18 versions as well. It makes it a lot more enjoyable as well. It didn't look like it had been edited for children and stuff was off screen, everything was on screen and in your face. It was just hilarious, some of it. But I think he's a really bad writer. That's all I'm going to say. I think Zack Snyder isn't very good at writing dialogue or writing stories. I think he works a lot better when someone's writing something with him, or if he's directing something that's been written by someone else. They're his better films, the ones that he's not 100% involved in the writing and doesn't do it on his own. Because when he does it on his own, I think he thinks about the visual side of things and what would look good on screen, and it's just like, oh shit, I've got to write a story that goes with this, and it doesn't always go down very well. I mean, the idea of Seven Samurai / The Magnificent Seven in space was a really good idea. He just could have written it a lot better. So yeah, enough of slating Zack Snyder. Definitely watch the 18 version of Rebel Moon. Maybe don't bother with the second one. I mean, you can watch it if you want, but it's still nearly 3 hours long. And like an hour and a half, 2 hours of that, you're just like trying hard to stay awake. As I said earlier, there is another film that I watched recently. There's a remake of it coming out in September, starring James McAvoy, but I saw the original version of Speak No Evil the other night, and that film was absolutely amazing. I was really surprised how much I really enjoyed that. That's another film that I watched for the first time this year, and it's gone straight into my top 69. If you guys are looking at the new Speak No Evil with James McAvoy, have a look at the original first. It was only released like 2 years ago, so it's a bit weird that they're making a remake of it 2 years after the original was out, but I'd say definitely get on that, because that was really good. I really enjoyed that. It was completely out of this world for me. It was a really good, decent story. It's more of a thriller than it is horror. I wouldn't have said it was particularly scary, but it's definitely a thriller, and there's a lot of what the hell's going on. You want to know why things are happening and stuff like that, and it just leaves you on the edge of your seat all the way through. You're just like, oh yeah, you make those noises, oh. So yeah, Speak No Evil for you get out there, watch the original before you watch James McAvoy's version. I say version, he's in it, he didn't like write it or anything. But I really look forward to seeing what he's going to do with that character that the guy plays in the original. So maybe watch the trailer for the new one, or maybe watch the trailer for the original. But I'd definitely say if you like a good thriller, it's a really good thriller. It's definitely up there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking now. I'm just going to go. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'm going to fuck off. Okay? Goodbye.